I'm a little apprehensive because I think that it's going to be a real experience for me. It's going to take me out of my comfort zone.
To see how they interact with us and what some of their cultures and traditions are for welcoming guests, because it seems like it's a big deal.
I'm looking forward to meeting the residents, speaking with them, getting to know how they really live life.
It'll be kind of sobering to see how these people live their lives.
A culture, a society that has so much and isn't as grateful as they are for, in comparison when they have so little, I think it'd be really hard to interface with people like that.
My wife and I are expecting our first child, and I would love to see what advances they've done for maternal health, which is one of the Millennium Promise goals.
I'm not one that gets really nervous. I mean, I travel all the time, but there was a lot of nerves about what am I going to see and how's it going to impact me.
I'm expecting to be able to, see a completely different side of life that we don't get to see, and appreciate that more and appreciate my own life more.
Even though I expected a little bit the welcoming feeling that I got, but all this singing and asking us for more help and welcoming and thanking us, I couldn't never imagine.
The whole concept of Millennium Promise is that it's sustainable development. And that's change that's hard to sometimes quantify, but you will see that in terms of what they expect from one crop season to another. You'll see that in terms of the number of kids that go to school regularly. So you'll see it in many ways that from an outsider's view may not always be noticeable on the first pass. And it's that theory of one person can absolutely impact the world and sort of pay it forward, and the way you can do it for Millennium Promise is to become very articulate on the issues and to learn what the challenges are and celebrate the progress when the villagers make it.
I think the most important thing that CB Africa does, or the Millennium Promise does, is to really empower the people. To not just give money and not just give resources, but to teach people and educate people.
The biggest impact I think I saw from Millennium Promise was definitely in the water treatment.
We've got clean water here. We used to drink from the river down there. He says thank you, thank you.
The new boreholes, which are the water pumps that they're pumping straight from water underground, which is clean water supply as opposed to the contaminated water sources of the river.
They're already changing lives and making people healthier and making daily tasks easier because they're able to access water right in the middle of their village.
So they're able to separate their drinking water, which is keeping them healthy, at the same time using the natural resource of rainwater or river water to irrigate their crops.
What are they growing compared to what they could do a year ago? Now it's cabbage and tomatoes and broccoli. All of a sudden, not only do they have a potential solution to the abundance problem, but now they've got variety.
When the rains are good, we get good harvest. When the rains are bad, equally we don't have anything at all. So we are moving ahead to start thinking and start planning as to what we should do.
The most remarkable to me was the grain bank in the Mwandama village, the research village.
This is a structure that they built out of brick with a roof. They store their grain in there year-round, so it's protected from the elements. They already have excess crops that are being stored there and fumigated and protected so that they have food throughout the year.
I don't think any of us, including the people who went last year, were really expecting to see it completed and see it on such a huge scale.
The last pictures I had seen, it started on the ground level. There were some of the bricks, and you could tell it was going to be fairly high.
The size of a basketball gymnasium, just in the middle of nowhere. And you were amazed that they could build something like this. It was one of the bigger buildings that we saw in the entire country of Malawi, let alone, in the middle of very rural Malawi.
I think the goal that has the most impact is achieving a primary or universal education. From that, everything stems, whether it's being a self-sustaining environment or whether it's learning about helping lower the infant mortality rate. That all stems from education.
The first thing that we do after arrival here is to give health or nutrition education.
They're better educated, better taught. It's going to end a trigger effect and work through all the rest of the goals.
There's an actual structure within which the kids are taught at school. So many tangible results, many of which we didn't anticipate seeing in only 18 months' time. It's a very dramatically different approach from what you're finding with other groups working in Africa.
They've got health care, and they've got an economic development plan, and they've got rights for women, and they've got education. And so you get all those things in place, and then the group can help themselves. And I think underpinning all that is a belief in self-reliance, and that all you're doing is giving a hand up, not a hand out.
These things, you shouldn't stop at all. Please continue.
We aren't just doing this for a career builder. We aren't just doing this to have fun inside of the office. We're doing this to impact the lives of actual human beings.
I can't tell you what it does for the soul, but I will tell you that it has changed my life forever, and I will never look at anything the same way again.
It proves how strong they are and how strong the human spirit can really be when you have to fight to survive.
The one thing that I would take away from this is just the lesson from the people of Malawi, because no matter what we've given them, they've given us so much more.
And in a year and a half, you've made a huge difference for 5,000 people, and their lives will never be the same. And that's an amazing thing to think about, that almost halfway around the world, you've changed the lives of 5,000 people by your efforts here.
Truly bringing people out of poverty day after day after day is a huge impact. I don't think we really know how deep that impact goes until maybe even 10, 20, 30, 100 years from now.
When you come back from an experience like this, you want to make sure that you never lose sight of that again. That you never forget that what I've got isn't automatic. It's not something you're just entitled to. It's something that I lucked out with, and now I'm responsible for making sure that other people get that same shot.